The International Olympic Committee dropped bombshell news on Tuesday, banning the Russian NOC from the 2018 Winter Olympics. While there's a lot to unpack right now and plenty of details that must be settled, the hockey implications could be massive. The press release does note that clean athletes will be able to participate if they meet certain standards, but they do so under a neutral flag, and that's where things get even dicier for the men's and women's hockey tournaments. Via the IOC's release, here's the pertinent bit about clean athletes participating as, or, which inspired references to C-tier alt-rock to invite individual Russian athletes under strict conditions see below to the Olympic Winter Games Pyeongchang 2018. These invited athletes will participate, be it in individual or team competitions, under the name Olympic Athlete from Russia, or they will compete with a uniform bearing this name and under the Olympic flag. The Olympic anthem will be played in any ceremony. The most pertinent question for fans of international hockey is how will this affect the KHL's involvement in the tournament? As you may recall from a month ago, the KHL discussed the possibility of not participating in the 2018 Winter Olympics if a doping ban hit Russia, which has come to fruition today with more than mild surprise for some. Sportsnet's John Shannon mentions that it's possible the KHL could opt out as soon as Wednesday. There's real doubt in international hockey circles that Russia will consent to play as neutral. No word yet from Russian Federation call. Chris Johnston at Reporter Chris December 5, 2017. Now, the instinct might be to assume that no KHL means that Russia alone gets hit hard, but it would be a problem for the US and Canada among other countries, as well. Plenty of North American talents ply their trade in the KHL, the second most prominent pro league below the NHL. PHT's Sean Leahy notes that 7 Americans participating in the Deutschland Cup and 19 Canadians on the Channel 1 Cup roster currently play in the KHL. The AP's Stephen Wino notes that it wouldn't even be clear which nation would replace Russia or a neutral Russian team if that falls through. Yikes. Now, there are some other options for adding players. Darren Dreger discussed some NHL prospects currently playing in the NCAA as examples of roster options, and there are certain AHL players who could conceivably be available for the 2018 Winter Olympics, too. As Wino reports, the IIHF's current response is, essentially, that they need to take time to gather their thoughts and plan a next step. In an interesting twist, you wonder if the NHL actually dodged a bullet by not participating this time around. Well, at least now Alex Ovechkin knows he's not missing out on anything in 2018. Greg Wyshynski at Wyshynski December 5, 2017. Ultimately, there's an element of wait-and-see here, but it's a big mess for tournaments that were already hurt by a lack of NHL players. PHT will monitor this messy situation as it plays out over the next few days, weeks, and perhaps months, so stay tuned. More from Olympic Talk. Russia banned from Olympics. Athletes can compete as neutrals. James O'Brien is a writer for Pro Hockey Talk on NBC Sports. Drop him a line at thablog@nbcsports.com or follow him on Twitter at CycleLikeStins. Players of the night: Marian Gaborik. Los Angeles Kings. Gaborik scored twice and helped propel a 4-goal third period for the Kings, who came back from a 21 deficit after 40 minutes to win 52 against the visiting Minnesota Wild. Gaborik's second goal of the night was his 400th of his NHL career. It came against the team he achieved his highest scoring prowess with. Gustav Nyquist. Detroit Red Wings. Nyquist scored twice and added a helper as the Red Wings toppled the Western Conference best Winnipeg Jets at Little Caesars Arena. Nyquist's first period marker held up as the game winner in a big game for the Red Wings, who responded after getting shellacked 101 by the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday. Jacob Markstrom. Vancouver Canucks. Markstrom made 30 saves in a 30 win for the Canucks against the Carolina Hurricanes. His shutout was the first of his NHL career. Highlights of the night: Booney Evest, the owner of one of the coolest nicknames in the league, scored his first NHL goal on a slick wrist shot in the first period of a 43 win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. John Gibson committed this theft tonight. The victim failed to press charges. Shea Weber did his best Clayton Kershaw impression to score against the Street. Louis Blues factoids of the night. Gaborik had a pretty good night and Nikita Kucherov put himself in some pretty elite company, both in Tampa Bay Lightning history, as well as NHL history in general. Misk scores: Devils 4, Blue Jackets 1, Rangers 4, Penguins 3, Blues 4, Canadiens 3, Red Wings 5, Jets 1, Lightning 6, Islanders 2, Predators 5, Stars 2, Sabres 4, Avalanche 2, Canucks 3, Hurricanes 0, Golden Knights 4, Ducks 3, So Kings 5, Wild 2. Scott Billeck is a writer for Pro Hockey Talk on NBC Sports. Drop him a line at thablog@nbcsports.com or follow him on Twitter at Scott Billeck. Marian Gaborik has taken his talents coast to coast over his National Hockey League career, but he found most of his scoring success as a member of the Minnesota Wild. So it was a tad fitting that Gaborik would reach the 400-goal milestone against his former club, scoring twice in a 52 win for the Los Angeles Kings on Tuesday to extend LA's winning streak to 6 games. Gaborik initiated a 4-goal third period for the Kings, who trailed 21 after 2 frames, scoring no. 399 to tie the game 22 in the first 5 minutes of the period. Number 400 came roughly 10 minutes later as Gaborik was the beneficiary of a Kings face-off win and buried the milestone mark past Devan Dubnyk. Neither team could find the back of the net on a combined 19 first-period shots, but the floodgates started to crack in the second. The Wild grabbed the first goal, with Charlie Coyle getting his stick on a centering pass. Jake Muzzin tied the game with a blistering slap shot after Drew Doughty found his defense partner in space at the top of the left circle. Minnesota regained the lead just over a minute later, with Tyler Ennis whacking the puck past Jonathan Quick. But it was Gaborik's night, and he wouldn't be denied in the third. After he tied the game, Adrian Kemp's centering pass went off the skate of Jonas Brodin and behind Dubnyk for the Kings' first lead of the game. After Gaborik scored his 400th, Ants Kopitar potted his 15th of the season to extend his goal-scoring streak to 3 games. Kopitar also had 2 helpers in the game, giving him 500 in his NHL career. Scott Billeck is a writer for Pro Hockey Talk on NBC Sports. Drop him a line at thablog@nbcsports.com or follow him on Twitter at Scott Billeck. A nasty 2-handed chop that already got Brendan Dillon booted from a game will earn him another night off. Dillon was handed a 1-game suspension by the league on Tuesday night. Have his slash on Washington Capitals defenseman Madison Bowey and a 41 San Jose Sharks on Monday. Dillon was slapped with a 5-minute major in a game misconduct in the third period. The deed, which was explained as a simply frustrated player delivering a retaliatory and forceful slash to a vulnerable area of an opponent's body, can be seen here under the terms of the CBA. Dillon will forfeit $17,580.65 based on his average annual salary. Scott Billeck is a writer for Pro Hockey Talk on NBC Sports. Drop him a line at thablog@nbcsports.com or follow him on Twitter at Scott Billeck. The Pittsburgh Penguins threw everything and then some at the New York Rangers in the dying moments of the third period. Their efforts, valiant as they were for a Penguins team trying their darndest to push their winning streak to 5 games, came and went in vain in a 4-3 defeat on Wednesday night. The Rangers simply stuck around in the game and pounced on their opportunities presented to them. Pittsburgh appeared to get a favorable break on the night after it was announced Henrik Lundqvist would miss the game because of the flu. That left the Rangers to send out Ondrej Pavelec, the owner of just a single win this season and a save percentage well below .900. But Pavelec stopped 41 of 43 en route to his second win of the season. It appeared to be going well early for Pittsburgh, who took a 10-lead pass not too long after the midway point in the first period, with Connor Sheary ending an 8-game goalless run with his 9th of the season. Rangers rookie forward Bunieves, one of the best nicknames in the league, scored his first NHL goal to tie the game 11. Phil Kessel would restore the advantage for the Penguins in the second frame, scoring his 5th goal in his past 6 games to make it 21. The Rangers would lead before the second period ended. Jesper Fast and Matt Zuccarello scored just under 5 minutes apart to take a 32 advantage into the final period. The Pens tied it up 33 through Patrick Hornqvist, who wired a wrist shot on a breakaway past Pavelec. But Pavel Buchnevich would seal it for the Rangers just after the midway point of the period. Penguins goalie Tristan Jarry lost his first start since taking over for Matt Murray, who suffered a lower body injury last week. Jarry had strung together 2 solid outings, allowing just 1 goal over both contests prior to Tuesday. Scott Billick is a writer for Pro Hockey Talk on NBC Sports. Drop him a line at thablog@nbcsports.com or follow him on Twitter at Scott Billick.